Hello and welcome back. We all seem to have such busy lives these days, and mine's no different. I work in London for most of the week, and I really look forward to the weekends when I get to come out here and see what's going on in the garden. So I'm really glad that you can join me on this beautiful sunny day while I take you around and we check on the plants, we check on the greenhouse, the polytunnel, and also some of the vegetables that I've been planting. So join me right after this. So back here we have our corn, and we also have some squashes planted in between. So this will be the Three Sisters method of gardening, which is essentially corn, which will hopefully grow quite nicely, and we'll have some pumpkins or squashes in between, and then we'll also have some peas or beans that are going to wrap themselves up around the corn. We'll plant the peas and the beans a bit later in the season. So up the front of this long bed I planted some pak choi, and they're doing very well. They've been in there about two and a half weeks, and I think probably another 2 weeks and we'll be able to eat these guys. So I do enjoy some pak choi, really good stuff. In this bed over here we have 2 rows of lettuce, the little gem and the cos lettuce. We haven't had any cos lettuce come up, but we have had a couple of these little gems pop up. So I think in a couple of weeks time we'll have some lettuce to harvest from here as well. And over here along this little fence we have some peas. They've all come up quite nicely. So we'll have quite a lot of peas, I think, growing up this fence. I planted them on either side of the fence, so we'll have quite a few. These here are radishes. They always grow very quickly, so it won't be long before we have some radishes to add to salad. And then over there we have our snap peas. So I planted similar to what I did with the normal peas. So I've got some snap peas growing along this fence, and most of them have come up, so we'll have quite a few over there. In this bed here we have our beetroot. We have a couple of varieties, and we can see there's quite a bit of germination, so happy with that for now. And there's the corn and the squashes from the other side of the bed. In this bed here we have some runner beans, we have some aubergine, and we have a couple marigolds up the front just to attract some ladybugs. And then that bed at the back there we have quite a lot of the pak choi and some more marigolds. Let's start with the hydroponics today. We can have a quick look and see how they're all doing. They're looking quite healthy. There's still a little bit of crinkling on some of these leaves we can see here, but I think that's just damage from when I still had aphids. I don't have aphids anymore, so they are recovering just fine, and all the new growth is looking good. This little plant over here is growing. It's made a lot of progress since the last time I showed it to you a couple of weeks ago, but it is getting shaded a little bit by these plants. These plants are all looking really healthy and decent sizes. However, not as big and healthy as my Poblano. This guy is huge. Now, if we have a look at it, I don't know if you can really make it out in the camera. Well, you can, it's pretty obvious. It's about twice the size of all my other hydroponic plants. And I'm not going to give away too many of my secrets just yet, because this is one of my competition plants. So our Poblano is looking really good. There are a lot of flowers, and we even have our first pepper showing. So there's our first little Poblano pepper. I'm not sure that will be the competition winner, but I'm going to let him grow out and just keep an eye on it. It's going to be the peppers that come through a bit later in the season that I think are going to have the best chance to win against Tony. I have been watching Tony's videos, but I might have missed it if he's given an update on his plants, but I haven't seen anything. So if you have heard anything, if you know anything, make sure you let me know in the comments below. But at the moment, I am pretty happy with this plant. It's massive and a lot bigger than my other hydroponics plants. So yeah, can't complain about that. This mini hydro system is also doing really well. Actually, the plant in here is bigger than the majority of my plants in the bigger bed, and it hasn't been growing as long as the plants in the bigger bed. Even the one behind there is not as tall, but it's nice and bushy. Got some big old leaves, and yeah, it's doing well as well. Let's take a look at some of my soil plants. So this here is my baby red. We can see a lot of lovely peppers on there already. And I think it's quite early in the season for that, but I'm not going to complain. The plant is still going to get a lot bigger than this, so I hope it is anyway. It's doing pretty well, and some of my other plants doing really well. So let's have a look around. This here is my purple cream, and it's a really pretty plant. I mean, look at the leaves here. The nice purple tinge to them. It really is a lovely plant. Probably make a nice bonchi or bonsai chili plant. This one here is looking really healthy. It's the jigsaw chocolate. It's got branches coming off everywhere. This thing is going to be a real massive bush, I'm sure. No flowers just yet, but we can see the start of a few of them. Just over there. There's a few starting out. These here, wow. So this here is my Bangalore Whippet's tail. Just to point out as well, sorry, I did mention the Poblano pepper. I'm not mentioning the spaghetti peppers. So when I started the competition at the beginning of the year with Tony, we were going to grow both Poblanos, so you can get the biggest Poblano, and we were going to do the spaghetti pepper and see who had the longest spaghetti pepper. But I didn't get any of my spaghetti peppers to germinate, and I don't think Tony did either, so that side of the competition is kind of scrapped, I think. So these here look similar to what I expect a spaghetti pepper would look like, long and thin, but that's pretty cool actually. It'd be nice to see this full of these peppers, and going by the number of flowers that are popping up everywhere, I'm pretty sure it will be full of these long thin peppers. Over here is the Brazilian pumpkin, and it's always good to see when these branch off like that. We can see this is going to be lovely and bushy, 3 main branches coming off. Apparently a really pretty pepper. Let's take a look at a couple of the other plants. Over here we have our Saffy Red, and this is a Scotch bonnet. I just love the look of this plant. It's lovely and dense, the foliage. There's lovely leaves on it, and there's plenty flowers starting out. We can see down there, so that's going to be full of peppers, I'm sure, as well. And this one here as well is looking really good. This is my Carolina Reaper. No flowers properly opened up yet, but the start of quite a few of them, so again, won't be long before we have some peppers growing there. These plants are all looking really good as well. This here is a peach butcholokia, and it's lovely and big and bushy. So there aren't any plants I'm not happy with at the moment. Obviously I'd love some more growth, but so far so good. They're all looking pretty healthy. The banana pepper back here is almost ripe, so that's going to be probably my first ripe pepper. We'll go have a look in the polytunnel in just a bit. Maybe there's one in there. But banana pepper is starting to yellow. And over here the chocolate bell, lovely big old peppers, very dense thick pepper. And these are just my peri peri and my cayenne. And they're looking good, and lots of flowers on them already. And we can see a couple of peppers developing as well on the cayenne, so very early in the season for that. But that's good. We're going to have some early harvest. Let's go and have a look inside the polytunnel. The damn moles are getting in everywhere on my grass. If there's any tips from you guys, please leave them in the comments below. Anything to get rid of moles. These guys are just so damaging to the garden. It's ridiculous. So any tips, please, comments down below. Let me know. So let's have a look inside here. It's very warm in here again, but we can see the plants are doing well. These here are still so I keep pointing this out, but these are ones that are planted a little bit too early, and you can see the damage that causes when you plant your plants too early in the season when it's still quite cold in the ground. These were only about 2 weeks, I think, before I planted the others. I started them all at the same time, so they all germinated around about the same time, but I put them in the ground at different times, and you can definitely see these are looking far better than these ones over here. So just something to pay attention to. Don't put them in the ground too early. This is the Bangalore Whippet's tail that I showed you inside. It's the same one we have outside here, and again it's looking really lovely. Similar sort of length. I think the ones in the greenhouse are a little bit longer than this, but still lots of them coming up on this plant. It's a really cool little plant actually. And let's have a look around and see what other peppers we have starting out. We have lots of flowers. Check this plant out. This is the Iya Yuyo, and look at those peppers, purple. So that's looking lovely. Lots of new flowers coming up and lots of peppers. I don't know what they taste like because I've never grown this before, so it'll be interesting to see a little bit later on, but it's a pretty plant and pretty little fruits. Over here is my Peach Fantasy. You can see plenty of peppers on here as well. I do want these plants to grow a bit bigger. They're about 30 centimeters tall at the moment, so they do need to get a lot bigger. I'd like to see them getting up to, about 1.5 meters high. Some of them are doing a little bit better than others. This one here is growing quite tall. This is a Kumari elongado, and it's a bit taller than the others, but still it's only about 1 meter high. Here's my Teppan cross with a lemon drop. So I am growing lemon drops on their own as well, but this is a cross that I got from Fatali Seeds, and we have loads of peppers coming up through there. So won't be long before we can pick some of those and I can finally try a lemon drop, because I've never had one before actually. These are my cayenne. We have quite a few growing already, so we only have 1 or 2 that have started in the greenhouse, but out here in the polytunnel we have quite a few that have started out. Over here another cayenne plant and a bunch of cayenne peppers. My peri-peris, they're also showing a couple starting out, a couple little peppers, but lots of flowers. But look how tiny it is. That's the size of my hand. It's needs to grow a lot more, but we've still got time. There's still a good few months in the season. And over here, my Ramiro Reds. Look at these guys, massive. We've got 2 really big Ramiro peppers on there, so it won't be long before those ripen up as well. Actually, that one looks like it's beginning to ripen. It's lightening up and soon be going lovely red. And we have some more really big peppers over here. These are the Ramiro Yellow, and similar sort of size to the Ramiro Red. That one's grown all wonky, but I'm sure it'll taste just as good. And then over here is the Chocolate Bell, which we have a couple in the greenhouse as well, but those are looking lovely. There's 2 on there. Those will be lovely and sweet, I'm sure. And this is another Ramiro Red, although it looks very different to the other Ramiro Red. So we'll see if that's maybe just something that's been crossed. We'll be able to see a bit later on in the season. Thank you so much for joining me today while we take a look around my garden and see how things are progressing. I hope that you're having a fantastic season as well. And until the next video, stay spicy and bye-bye for now. Old man, they're coming after you. Old man, best go